With the interior walls of the new section of the Watermill plastered, in this episode we do our best to preserve the charm of the old stone walls as our team of artists begins plastering the original portion as our Watermill starts to look more and more like home. Drew and I are going to have to figure out what parts we want them to plaster over and what parts we want the stone left exposed. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new around here, we're Brittany and Drew, two hopeful adventurers who got married and after 8 years of van life found our dream property and moved across the globe to Portugal, where we're now documenting the journey of transforming this historic watermill into our very first home, not on wheels. Now, let's take in a deep breath and let it out. Let the adventure begin.
Good morning, guys. It's a new day on our property. The birds are chirping, the sun's not up over the hill, the water's flowing. I love this special spot. Let's get to it. Today we have a ton of things laying around the mill that need to be moved out. All these old bags of adobe, these oak trees, tons of tiles, including the stuff up there, because the electricians want to get into the bottom part of the mill down here and be able to start running pipes, getting the conduit going from all the places that have been chiseled. This was a little complicated to try to figure out because there's so many things. Where do we put all of them? We don't really want to have to move things. We're just going to put things here on the patio for now. The excavator recently had reshaped this back area. I need to get gravel there, probably another container because everything's just sitting outside, which is not where I want to keep it. But for now, we're just going to move things the shortest distance so that we can get to work on the project that matters most right now, rather than overthinking it and having the perfect location for these things.
Горечка, оно у тебя будет шататься по этой хуйне, будет болтаться. Вот сюда запусти. Да я не буду
Нічого я взагалі її не.
Как мы тут будем проходить?
Тут треба одному.
Все, тихо, аккуратно.
Ну, давай.
Сейчас, ребята, подождите.
Можемо стати, оп.
Да.
It's good to get this out of the house. Electricians can come in now and do their job. We still got a lot more to clear out. Take a look. I've never been able to see clearly over in this corner before, or in this whole area, which is the chute that the old watermill water runs down under there into the chamber that turns the turbine under the old molino.
This is the chamber under the mill that shows where the original wheel turned underneath here.
You guys see this? We look like a bunch of crazy people looking in the hole of our house.
Do we think that it's important to keep this cleaned out, or do we think that it's important to fill it up?
I think we should clean it out.
It's
I think
not
it's really cool and historic.
I mean, so long as it's not causing a leak inside the living room.
Yeah, that's very important. I still cannot figure out for the life of me how they brought water down here and got into this chamber though. But how did they fill this up?
Well,
But they had to direct it from the stream.
So maybe this was just open. So they directed all the water and it just came in.
I mean, the only thing we're going to know is if we dug this out a little bit, maybe we'd find a hole coming in here.
A lot of you guys in one of our last videos told us that we should either cut out cardboard, take masking tape or some type of markings and draw out what will be our future countertops, our island, or just features in the house and place them around so we can kind of get the idea of what that'd be like. It's a great idea. And now having things out of the house, it makes that kind of work possible, especially over here in the kitchen once we get all of this cleared out. When we built our Sprinter van years ago, that was something I was able to do. It really helped out, so I definitely understand the importance of doing such a thing and just conceptualizing with markings where things will be rather than just like trying to imagine it and use a tape measure. All right.
I've never seen this before. Well, that will definitely be going in our patio or a stepping stone to our garden. Spring was especially spectacular this year as we have been told the rains have returned. And so we've been shown an array of colors and flowers that last year's drought definitely didn't allow us to see. Whatever plant this is, the caterpillars just love it. The silk moths are hatching. Here's my kitty. A good girl. Smelling the flowers? What's amazing is that all of these flowers and herbs and plants, they just grow wildly on our land. We didn't plant any of these. So beautiful and diverse.
Hey Brittany,
Yes?
where are you at?
Filming the purple poppies?
Okay. We want to take the whole bag out of the bedroom right now.
Okay.
Yeah, they want to take that grand bag out of our master bedroom
Oh my gosh.
because everything needs to come out. So we got to try to find a place for it.
Okay. So to explain, this bag is about 1,000 kilos of river clay from the Netherlands that he had brought over, placed inside of the mill before the walls and the roof were built. And so it's very precious to him. But where do we put it? It's going to probably rain a few more times this season. So I don't know. This is tricky. All right, I think we have a solution. After brainstorming what to do with our 1,000 kilo bag of river clay, we've decided to put it all in one of these, or at least to have our team put bucket by bucket of that clay, relocating it from the bedroom through the window and into one of these, that then a JCB machine, like the one that moved the container, will be able to then move this bag kind of at various places throughout the property, depending on what we decide to do with it or where we find ourselves most able to store it. And so we're at the local shop where we are able to purchase or maybe get an extra one of these bags that they have lying around.
Special room.
How exciting.
Tem poco mais grande or so extra?
Oh, it says 1,000 kilos, but this looks kind of small.
It is really tiny compared to that other bag. We got an extra bag plus these two. Maybe we start or maybe we wait. You know why these are actually better? Is we can break up the weight of the load so that the JCV can move it around or we can use other machines. It's not just so big and bulky. Tacos para sugar más o menos. Isn't it crazy in here with nothing around? Like we actually get to see the whole place.
I know. Wow.
It really puts it at scale.
And Drew and I are going to have to figure out what parts we want them to plaster over and what parts we want the stone left exposed, like here.
You can see they've had extra plaster at the end of a lot of the days that they've been here doing the upper bedrooms. And they've used it to start covering it.
The crown molding.
Yeah.
This, I think we will use the adobe, that big sack of river clay. I think we should adobe, you know, we'll take our time later once we're able to live in here, and we'll use our hands and kind of cover this with the natural earth adobe. And I love that they've sort of chiseled around this old mow, the old grinding stone here, which they think is maybe from the Roman times. so we really want this to be a highlighted feature.
So cool.
Yeah, and have a piece of glass under there. You know, it's really a special piece of the house.
I just really look forward to like having my coffee here, sitting on a stool. It'll just be a cool like coffee feature.
It already feels like more of a home. And while we dreamed up how to preserve yet spruce up the stone walls in the original portion of the mill, the newer brick walls in the upper section were getting caked in layers of plaster.
This is the upper bedroom.
Yes. It looks so different already. It looks amazing.
They put so much plaster on the walls, like 1-2 centimeters.
Look at how thick it is.
Look at the layer on there. It's like almost an inch of plaster. But they got another massive load of cement delivered over there because they keep filling up these buckets, like using mixes and just bringing it in. I know how hard it is to make it, load those buckets, and then get it over here. Like,
And then slap it on
yeah,
the
and then
walls
slap
and
it
then
on.
smooth it out.
DJ Alex.
Sì, è meglio che radio. I love it. They're the best. Such good attitudes. You guys see this? This beautiful watercoloring. I can't wait until our walls are prepared so that we can start to hang some art in here. And when it comes to hanging pictures or really any at-home DIY project, it's really important to get things straight, which is why we're so excited to share with you the sponsor of today's episode, Fantic, who makes the D2 ultra amazing self-leveling laser level. The light is like an awesome green, which basically means that it shines 4 times brighter than a red laser. Drew and I realized how important it really was, not only for things like hanging picture frames, but also for making stairs. I'm here in the turret and Drew and I actually had the idea, I don't know if we're gonna do it or not, but of making stairs that go up the turret to a little half floor where we could store like bathroom goods. So if we wanna do something like that and we're gonna make stairs ourselves, it's really important that those stairs are straight. And with the cross-line laser, all of that is possible.
I love how small and lightweight this is too. It's super durable, can be dropped up to 1 meter. It's water resistant. Great for in these construction zones. And it even comes with a cool bracket that's magnetic, lets you mount it.
And right now, using our code ADVENTURE, you will get 15% off of your Fantic laser level. Plus, Amazon has a 15% off code, which means that in total, you could get 30% off. For any DIYers out there, this is an essential tool.
This is something we've been looking forward to doing for quite some time once everything was cleared out of the mill, and that's marking the walls where we want plaster and where we don't want plaster. So Brittany's in here talking with Igor, and we're gonna start marking the walls.
This part is weird.
I like this big flat spot though.
Do you want it to be rebook? Because here, they were gonna do a...
Sorry guys, you're getting a little bit of angled view. They can smooth around it and leave some of the characteristics of like the old mill room right here.
We like the brick, we don't like the foam,
Yeah.
you know? There's this photo that I really love that one of our neighbors shared of how they left like the old bricks exposed and the old rocks, but did a framework of new plaster around the windows. And so I was explaining with Igor, so basically from the window frames out, so like all in here, we want to put plaster and have it bleed out like a picture frame a bit around the edges, but to leave most of this brick exposed. So we want a mix of like shabby chic, which is a lot actually more complicated to explain to them than just like plaster everywhere like they can do in the newer sections and on the newer walls for the bathroom laundry room combo in the corner over there. So we're gonna mark with this, or at least we're going to attempt to. But this section I find this odd.
Maybe this was their chalkboard and they tallied all the orders up.
I think I heard a story once that a school teacher in Lisbon purchased this back in the day, and he used to bring the children from Lisbon here to teach them about like the old methods of using the millstone and such.
It was a field trip.
I've heard a lot of different stories. Like everyone seems to have a history with this structure, you know, at some point in their childhood, whether it was theirs or their grandparents' story, you know.
Or a cousin's brother.
Yeah, or somebody's great-great-grandmother. So anyway, we want to try and preserve as much of it as possible.
Let's just do a test spot somewhere low over here.
How do I press? It comes out of the top?
Yeah, so
I'm
watch.
so used to it coming
Watch.
out of the
No, it
side.
goes like this. These are for marking the ground. Do you see how I push that?
Yes. We should just take this whole wall here.
Yeah, seal it. This whole wall, right?
Yeah.
You'd leave this section over here.
Yeah.
So we go something like...
Yeah, like frame it in. I don't think I'm going to be good at this, but we're going to give it a whirl.
You should
anyway.
start at the low spots.
Well, I don't want any of this covered. So from here. It's really hard to hold this upside down when you're so short and shoot up. Right? We want like the foam holes filled, but this is interesting. Everything below this mess we sort of leave, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Fill in there. And then here, what, little framework?
Yeah, do a little framework. Do a line right there. If you're intending to mark your house, don't buy white paint and don't buy floor paint. I think distancia esta para todo
Like 12 centimeters on the sides, 5 centimeters on the top. We said a little crown molding of about 20 centimeters in the whole room. First step, apply the sticky scratch coat everywhere that the plaster would go. Here, Igor's applying the thick layer of plaster to the crown molding and window frames. How exciting! Amazing to see how he used a piece of wood to make the straight edge on the framing. In the theater room, we decided to have them plaster the top and bottom portion of the walls and to leave the strip of rocks exposed. Looking forward to seeing how this one turns out once it's all done. loudly?
So loud. She likes when I itch her behind her ears.
Love you, sweetie. Sweetest little baby. We're building you a nice home. She slept in our bed last night the entire night.
That's a first.
Slept right on my legs and I couldn't move. But you dare not move when they do it. It's 5:40. We have to eat before we go to Portuguese class or else we don't get home till 9 and it's just delirious.
Mais masa.
Mais massa! All day massa!
Masa como pasta.
Ma como pasta, eh?
I'll be over for dinner later. Jantar. Right here is the gas tube. Vlad's asking me it's going to come out of the house in the kitchen here, and we're going to run a canal underneath here, over here. Bon dia. The tube for the gas coming in right here for the oven, for the Ferno. Uma curva perfecto. This takes me back to the days when I was wiring up our camper van with the oven and stove using the copper tubes at a grand scale in our house. The only singular appliance that we'll have in our house that actually uses gas is for cooking, the stove and oven top. For Brittany and I, we've always appreciated cooking with gas. It's just quick, on demand. It seems like something that we've just become accustomed to traveling in the vans, and that's why we want it in our house, in our dream mill. So in the future, the line will run under the stairs that we create here to some kind of box that is in this area, out of the way, not aesthetically displeasing, next to the mow wheel, the old oven here, or anywhere close to the house. I know we're gonna build a special box that's nice and protective for it too. So I was just informed that he's gonna be doing a test on our gas line right now to check the whole connection, the tube that he ran through the house. Gosh, it feels good to be at this phase where things are like just happening. There's his little gadget. Looks like he puts the gas and the air through there, tests the connection, and goes through. I know what that squirt bottle is. He's checking for leaks. This will be an on and off switch where we can control it and turn off the gas flowing into the oven section.
Eles para legalizar obrigam até a certificação de gás.
Nintendo.
A carrinha tem a instalação toda pronta, mas é preciso um certificado de cá
Sim.
para...
Ah, necessário para licença.
Exatamente.
Wow, look how nice that beam looks right now that it's wet. I can see myself running into the bathroom and just doing a hand slap. And they're starting to put all of the Reboke, the plaster, on the underneath side of the staircase up here. I really don't understand how they get it to hold to the ceiling like that. Like, it's a wet concrete. I guess it's just one of those tricks. You can't make it too wet and you just gotta whip it up there. That'll definitely make your arm sore after an afternoon. Still wet. That's what Alex and Igor were over here testing out to see, can they get the next layer on.
Little details. Here they're applying the scratch coat above the strip of stones that we want to leave exposed.
Я бы птицу слетела.
Mais.
Караоке на Майдане.
You see they've been doing this edge here, the top of the whole framework, and down. It's looking good. Hey, cutie. Good morning.
Good morning.
Enjoying your outdoor yoga session?
Yeah, the kitties have been keeping me company. They're so cute.
Kitty yoga, nothing beats that.
In this temperature. Wonderful.
It's nice to be outside again.
Their first outside yoga class since a while.
I might go down there and see what they're up to. Go over a couple small details and different things they're doing for us.
Okay, thank you, babe.
All right. Check you later.
You're the best.
So the electricians are back here at the house. This is the second time they're back. They did the upper portion of the house. Today I believe they're going to do a lot more of the main room. So we had to prepare and get all the things out the other day so that they're back to do their job. This specific spot, we're doing a pre-installation for an air conditioner. Let's go take a look inside, see what they're up to. Bom dia. Tudo bem?
Good.
You? You? Yeah. Good to see you again.
Tem a chave, tem o telefone, mas gosto de ter.
Deixa-me que me disse à frente e nos stars, não.
Pois é, sempre foi algo quando era.
While the electricians are still here, our builder showed up and we were able to have a short, quick meeting and make sure everyone's on the same page. There's a few holes in the upper area of the house where electricity needs to pass through to an exterior box. Those holes need to be opened up. Same with a couple fans in the bathroom area up top. Those holes need to be made as well. You see right there, one of the holes to be drilled here for the upper fan in the bathroom. Oh, that's pretty. Because the electricians actually don't do any of the cutting of the walls or drilling or grinding. That's left up to the construction guys. And the electricians, their responsibility is to run these tubes like this behind us throughout the house that pass through to all the electrical boxes all over the place. It's gonna be pretty crazy watching lines and tubes ran around this section of the house the same way that the upper house looks right now. So they're gonna continue doing their work. I'm guessing they're gonna get a lot of that done today. They might have to come back another day. It just seems like a pretty big project. Also, right now at this stage, things aren't permanently in place, so it gives Brittany and I a chance with everything out and feeling what the spaces are for the first time without the racks of things in here and just stuff all over, to really make sure that we like where these boxes are. Same with making sure switches are in places and simulating walking through the house. And also a big thing that Brittany thought of is when you walk in from the main door right now, pass through here, we've made a line and connection for a TV back here. When you come in, that's like one of the first things you'd see when you walk into the magic of this huge, massive space. So we thought, what if we were to put a couch at this corner and put a television box up there? We can always cover it with a picture if we don't use it, or vice versa over here. It gives a lot of flexibility for moving furniture around in the future. We got the scaffolding set up, so they're climbing way up here into our entrance foyer area. They're running some of the tubes that will go to the light up here that have to be passed, that are ran from the upper section of the house in the drop ceiling. Oh, it's the tallest area. Tiago is going to do this job for us. He's not afraid of heights, and he's got to scale up to the top and pass this tube right through this canal. That's right, that's important.
Pois, se está presa até aqui em baixo, a gente já fica com esta parte de cima toda acabada.
I had to come over here and show you guys this as I was walking out of the mill. That's pretty silly to see. There's flowers growing right through the brick. And that's like way down there. They found the light.
Nino's stoop. Look at all this. This is the future kitchen. We love how they've been able to mix the plaster with the old stone. Wow. And they're detailing on the window frame so that the light pours in. It's just lovely.
It's like I'm shacking in our kitchen.
Oh, it's true.
It feels natural. It feels right.
Cool. And I'm standing on the island.
I kind of started making some marks down on the ground.
That's great. Wow. Can see it now.
I hope it was okay that they covered up this wall. The electricians told me don't let them cover any canals. Can you believe just in this episode how much plastering's been done in the house?
I know. It really requires a team, like, to do things, you know? If one person plastering, or you and I would be like in the same corner all day. Teamwork makes the dream work, that's for sure.
What do you think of that?
Oh, just taking it all in. It's so well done. You know, it's hard to know what to do with this space, but we angled out the corners and the whole side walls, they angle out.
Yeah, you can see the slope going downward and coming out. Love it.
It lets in more light and it just gives a grander approach. It's really, really nice. I love how it's turning out.
Well done, Igor.
Yeah, I told him, no es solo museum para Mo. It's not only a museum for the moinho, for the millstone, but it's uma museo de arte.
It's telling a story of everybody who's helped us out on this property, add their flavor and touch.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't exactly know how he was going to do this at the start of the day. He asked me a couple questions, and we're both delighted with him.
Yep, that and a mix definitely of the artistic influence of the couple that we bought the mill from too. You know, so there's elements of a lot of different creative souls in here, and it feels like home more and more. I think we're just grateful. That's all.
I think we both come alive every day waking up here, whether it's the cats meowing, the land transforming, guys showing up. We just feel like we are doing exactly what we should be doing on this planet at this very moment in life. So we're so grateful to share it with you guys. This has been an amazing episode to share with you, and there's so much more to come.
And we hope that we can inspire you to do something that makes you feel alive and challenged and like a student, you know, in some way. It's always good to be a beginner.
So if you guys aren't subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe. It means the world to us. Hit that like button. It helps our channel out. Share it with a friend. And if you want to go a step further, check out our Patreon. We'll put a link to it in the show notes below.
Thank you for your support, even just for watching. We love you guys.
You guys are truly the best.
Ciao.
Take care.